this has a major impact on the Avs' future as the official 2025 Rookie Development Camp Tournament roster has officially been released. And taking a deep dive and analyzing all the different players on this roster is going to have massive implications surrounding the future of this Colorado Avalanche team, because this roster, these players, these prospects, they are the future of Colorado Avalanche hockey. And talking about how some of these players are shaping up to perform as rookies, as players within the Avalanche organization on the AHL affiliate Colorado Eagles, it's going to be huge for the Colorado Avalanche to just kind of talk about and surround the whole conversation around how many of these prospects, which one of these guys is going to be the player that's able to get through the pipeline, show that they are NHL ready, and ultimately be a part of the future of Colorado Avalanche hockey. And with that, we're going to break down everything surrounding this development camp roster, go through some of the key players on the roster, as well as talk about a few specific players, their stats, what they're bringing to the Avs organization, and how we're hoping to see them continue to excel as hockey players now that they have reached the professional level. But before we do so, massive news here at Avalanche Digest. We've officially hit 1,000 subscribers. Thank you so much to each and every single one of you 1,000 subscribers who have joined the Avs Digest family. We cannot thank you enough for your support, your viewership, everything that you guys do for us. We cannot thank you enough. Huge milestone for Avalanche Digest. As we've said multiple times, one of the fastest growing sources for Avalanche news and updates on all streaming platforms, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and we cannot thank you enough for your unwavering support. But one thing about us here at Avs Digest, there is no ceiling for our success. We are wanting to grow and continue to grow as much as we possibly can. So after a quick celebration for that 1,000 subscriber mark, let's get to 2,000. And with that, we need you guys to hit that subscribe button. If you are not subscribed, out of that 1,000 subscribers that we now have on the channel, there's still 69% of you that are not subscribed and watching our videos on a daily basis. So if you're part of that 69%, exit out of the video, please hit that subscribe button. Join the beautiful Avalanche Digest family. But just one more time, to those of you that are subscribed, a part of that 1,000 subscriber family, thank you to each and every one of you. We are so grateful to have your support. Without further ado, let's dive into the rookie tournament and development camp roster for this upcoming rookie showcase that the Avs have coming up in just about a week here. A few names that stick out to me on this list. Cale Makar, obviously playing in the shadow of his brother, Cale Makar. Gavin Brindley, who will dive a little bit more into some information around him. But of course, the player that was acquired in the trade this offseason with the Columbus Blue Jackets, where we sent Charlie Coyle and Miles Wood over to Columbus. Cooper Gay, another guy to keep our eyes on. And then looking at the defensive side, Shawn Burns, another guy that we're going to talk about in this video specifically, some of the implications around what he's hoping to do as a young defenseman prospect who's been playing right here in Denver, playing for the University of Denver, that is. Linus Funk as well on that defensive side of the rookie tournament roster. But just a lot of names and a lot to think about. In our most recent video, here on Avs Digest, we talked about how the Avs prospect list, the rookie pool, it ranks among the worst in the entire National Hockey League, 29th out of the 32 teams. And this list right here, this is essentially that 29 out of 32 ranking. So, there's not a lot of wowing, eye-bulging, very exciting talent on this list. But the hope is that some of these specific guys, some of these specific players is who is going to be the difference in the Avs having a successful season and propelling into a successful team in the future. Just a quick little note about this rookie tournament that's happening on September the 12th through September 14th on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, respectively. It's between the rookie rosters for the Colorado Avalanche, the Utah Mammoth, and the Vegas Golden Knights. So each of these three rookie rosters will play each other one time. It's all hosted by the Colorado Avalanche as well. Things kick off with a 6 p.m. puck drop. Utah and Colorado will face off first. Then Saturday, September the 13th, the Vegas Golden Knights and the Utah Mammoth at 3 o'clock p.m. Puck will be down for that second matchup. Colorado with the day off on that Saturday, September 13th day of hockey. And then Sunday, September the 14th, to close things out for the tournament, the Colorado Avalanche and the Vegas Golden Knights. 1 o'clock p.m. puck drop. That will be the end of the rookie tournament. So obviously, Avalanche hockey right around the corner, kicking things off in early October, but just a little bit to get you off the edge of your seat, to start getting you hyped and getting you excited. If this is something you want to check out, cool that the Avs rookies are getting in the burgundy and blue and getting set for a tournament to kick off the NHL season in just a few days here. But more notably, let's talk about some of these prospects, some of these rookies on this list here for the tournament, for the Avs, some of the guys that I think are worth paying attention to, not just in this tournament, but throughout the remainder of the NHL season, as far as what they're able to do production-wise on the Colorado Eagles, and whether or not they're pulled up to the Avs, and if they can stand the test of a true National Hockey League game, the pace, the level of play, the heavy hitting, the puck movement, all of that stuff. It's going to be really interesting to see if any of these guys, get pulled up, barring any roster issues, barring any injuries. And let's kick things off with Gavin Brindley. Of course, as we teased a few minutes ago, the player who was acquired in the trade with the Columbus Blue Jackets, we essentially received Gavin Brindley, a prospect, in return for two older veteran-style players who, had been with the Avs for, an allotted amount of time and weren't necessarily giving the production that Chris MacFarland and Joe Sakic were looking for from an NHL player's standpoint. And that was Charlie Coyle and Miles Wood. Miles Wood, obviously, who came from the New Jersey Devils a few years back, wasn't producing a ton and was struggling in the playoffs. And then Charlie Coyle, who had a short stint with the Colorado Avalanche, was acquired at the trade deadline with the Boston Bruins. We sent Casey Middlestat over to Boston in exchange for Charlie Coyle. He played with us for the remainder of the regular season after the trade deadline. But anyways, to get more into Gavin Brindley and some of his statistics, let's look at that last season of collegiate hockey at the University of Michigan. 40 games, 25 goals, 28 assists, a very strong point per game player in his last collegiate year of hockey, getting 53 points and an even balance, goals and assists 25 and 28 respectively. And so the hope is that strong skill playing with an elite collegiate hockey team is that can hopefully carry over into some of the experience that he already has with the Blue Jackets and the Cleveland Monsters, the AHL affiliate of the Blue Jackets. Hopefully that can all carry over into the Colorado Avalanche and the Colorado Eagles as he comes into his second full year in the American Hockey League. But, obviously playing that first year in the AHL, 52 games, 6 goals, 11 assists for 17 points. So not able to get at that point per game level. But for a guy who's now come into a very strong hockey organization, not just the Avalanche organization in general, but specifically where he's going to be spending the majority of his time with the Colorado Eagles, hopefully he's going to be able to mesh really well with some of those players and try to get a lot of experience to up those numbers, try to become more of a point per game player. And obviously, once again, at the end of the day, the hope is that he can stay healthy and play an entire season. So another guy to just take a quick glance at is Cooper Gay. And I think that this is another player that I'm really keeping my eye on during this rookie tournament when we face off with the Mammoth and the Golden Knights rookies. And then same thing, what he's able to do in what's going to be his first full season with the Colorado Eagles. He's already made his AHL debut after last year when he rounded things out with the University of St. Thomas at the end of that last year. Finished with 35 games, 19 goals, 11 assists for 30 points. It was his highest year of goals, assists, and points for University of St. Thomas, wearing the A on his sweater. And then after that year of collegiate hockey, he came down to Loveland, Colorado for the Colorado Eagles, tallied 2 games, only had 1 goal, no assists, but impressive that in those 2 games, he was able to find the back of the net, able to get some early professional hockey experience in the AHL. And of course, once again, a guy who wants to earn a spot playing consistently for the Eagles and maybe even working his way all the way up to the Colorado Avalanche. He's got a full AHL season ahead of him. Very excited to see if his production level can stay at the level that it was in his last year of NCAA hockey, where, as I said, in 35 games, he had 30 points, almost a point per game player. Really strong addition. And one of the guys who I'm going to be keeping my eye on throughout the season coming up. Next guy we're going to quickly touch on is Shawn Burns, the defensive player from the University of Denver. Taking a look at that last year at the University of Denver, the 2023-24 season, 44 games, 4 goals, 27 assists. As a defenseman, 27 assists, that's a great number. Obviously, the Avs looking to build on that defensive play style, not looking for as many offensive defenseman type players anymore. So, 31 points in 44 games as a defenseman at the University of Denver. Very impressive, very strong stats as a defenseman. And then in that last year with Denver, he pops over to the Eagles. He gets 1 game, 1 assist for 1 goal. For 1 point. Sorry, not 1 goal. But, once again, right in that point per game range. Very good stuff from Shawn Burns. And then, of course, didn't play any games at all last year with the Eagles. So really excited to see if as a defenseman, we could have another Sam Malinsky type situation where a top defenseman on the Colorado Eagles is trying to show off his skill level and work his way up to earning a more consistent spot on the Colorado Avalanche roster, with the asterisk on the fact that there's going to be some potential turnover defensively with guys like Sam Girard, potentially even a Josh Manson in the next few years, the future of the Colorado Avalanche. So cool to keep our eyes on this guy as well. Last but not least, really quickly do want to touch on Cale Makar, playing in the shadow of his brother, Cale Makar, the Stanley Cup, Conn Smythe, and Norris Trophy winner. Just an absolutely electric player for the Colorado Avalanche. And Cale Makar coming in now, what's going to be his first full AHL season. He's going to have the opportunity to show the Colorado Avalanche front office staff that he is going to live up to the Makar name. That last season at the University of Maine, after he transferred from the top program, University of Massachusetts Amherst, he had a breakout collegiate season, 38 games, 18 goals and 12 assists for 30 points. It was his career high in all 4 of those categories, games, goals, assists, and points, respectively. And then he comes down, finishes out the season with the Colorado Eagles. In 5 games, he gets a goal. And the fact that he's been working hard in the offseason and getting ready to get in gear with the Avs, very exciting to see what he's going to be able to do during this rookie camp, as well as just playing with the Colorado Eagles. And just a little fun tidbit, the fact that we could see the Makar brothers on the ice, both wearing the burgundy and blue sweater at Ball Arena, or, any other game that he gets pulled up to in the National Hockey League, just the fact that there's even a slim chance of that. Really cool stuff for the Makar brothers, for the Makar family, and just for Avs faithful and the Avs fans to get to see a guy like Cale Makar get to have his younger brother come up and wear that same sweater as him. Very exciting stuff. So hopefully that is in the back of Cale Makar's mind, and it's encouraging him to work harder and really get dialed in for this upcoming AHL and NHL season. And then just kind of round things out, with all of this in mind, talking about rookie camp, talking about that roster, talking about all these prospects and the future of the Colorado Avalanche, let's remember that the future of the Avs is now. This is the most exciting time to be dialed in on this team. Obviously we're still coming off of a cup run just a few years back. We have a decent amount of the core still from that Stanley Cup run. And just looking at that top 6, looking at that, third line and some of these electric pairings and some of these electric players on the Colorado Avalanche roster, it's a known fact within Avs faithful that the mindset of Chris MacFarland and Joe Sakic is a win or go home, cup or bust mentality. And that's essentially what they're trying to do with a stacked roster like this. Looking at that offensive top 6, Leckie, MacKinnon, and Necas on the top line, Landy, Nelson, and Nichushkin in the middle. Super electric stuff there. And then obviously Victor Olofsson signing with the Avs very recently, coming from the Vegas Golden Knights, an elite goal scorer, a power play menace. He'll be playing alongside Ross Colton and Joel Kiviranta. Joel Kiviranta, a guy that I'm excited to see coming back for the Avs, had his breakout year last year, tallied a hat trick at one point throughout the season, and had a really good offensive stint for the Avs last year. And then, of course, our defensive pairings, Makar and Taves, Girard and Manson, and then Brent Burns. So exciting to get to see him coming in and playing in that Avs sweater, a true veteran in the league. It's going to be so electric. And then, of course, to round things out as well, looking at this exciting cup or bust right now mentality, our goalie tandem. We've got no Alexander Forgiev coming into this season. Mackenzie Blackwood and Wedgwood are the guys that are going to be so dialed in for us between the pipes. So, a lot to think about, a lot to consider surrounding this rookie camp roster. I think that rounding things out and talking about how it's not too big of a, it's not too big of a stress point to think this much about the future, but it is worth noting that these players on that roster there, they're the future of this team. And the hope is that a good handful of them are going to be able to break out as professional hockey players, get themselves into that pipeline and get themselves up to the Colorado Avalanche and help the future of this team continue to be one of the top competitors in the National Hockey League. Thanks guys so much for tuning in as usual. And one more time, thank you all so much for 1,000 subscribers. Can't thank you guys enough for the support. Cheers, everybody.